Good afternoon, everyone. During the next half hour or so, I'm going to be highlighting some of the information in the booklet. It's a rather large booklet, and I can tell you how you can get it at the end. I just want to explain a little bit about myself. I'm an anti-poverty advocate, as well as a elder abuse advocate and a disability advocate. I live with a disability as well. I've been doing a lot of these things for many years. I've just started dealing with elder abuse issues over the past year and a half or so. And actually longer than that, because I'd say about 4 years or so. And it all started out with being able to help my mom with many things and having to be a voice for her and seeing a lot of the challenges that she was going through as well. The World Health Organization defines elder abuse as a single or repeated act or lack of appropriate action occurring within any relationship where there's an expectation of trust, which causes harm or distress to an older person. This type of violence it constitutes a violation of human rights and includes physical, sexual, psychological, and emotional abuse, financial and material abuse, abandonment and neglect, and serious loss of dignity and respect. So abuse and neglect of older and vulnerable persons isn't new. It's existed for many, many years. The signs of abuse and neglect are not always easy to spot, and you may not even know that you are being mistreated yourself. It can happen to anyone, and certain factors such as cultural and language barriers or mental and physical impairments can increase a person's vulnerability. Abused, older, and vulnerable people are often socially isolated with few friends or family to confide in. Victims often know and trust their abusers, and those abusers could be neighbors, paid or unpaid caregivers, friends, and even family members. Not all seniors are able to communicate about incidents of abuse. It's important that those close to them are aware of the warning signs. So if you are concerned that a family member or a neighbor is being abused, the police can do a wellness check. A wellness check can be initiated for concerns of health related or abuse issues by calling the police, not the emergency line, the other phone numbers for the police in your area. You can also call Crime Stoppers if you want to remain anonymous. Anyone, such as family members, friends, neighbors, PSWs, nurses who have concerns, can make that call. Each situation is unique. Talking to the police or someone you trust can be an important first step. They can help you determine your best course of action. Abuse and neglect are seldom reported for a variety of reasons. The abuser could be someone close to them and they don't want to see them get into trouble. The abuser could be the only visitor or helper that they have. The fear of what the abuser will do if they find out that they reported the abuse. They may be threatened with not seeing their family or may lose their home and be placed in a long-term care facility. Or they could be feeling ashamed because their family or caregiver is mistreating them and have been taken advantage of. So the best defense against abuse is knowing what it is and taking steps to keep yourself safe and secure. So protecting yourself from abuse, some of the information I can give you, and there's a lot more in the booklet, is to be educated and stay informed on current information about all forms of elder abuse, especially financial abuse. Because financial abuse is such a large topic, financial and technical. It includes phone, internet, and mail scams. And unfortunately, there's always new ways being generated to cheat people out of their money. Stay active and stay sociable. Stay involved with people and activities in your community. People who are isolated are at a higher risk for abuse and neglect. Stay organized. Know where your important papers and financial records are. Let a trusted person, such as your power of attorney, know where you keep them. And get legal advice and make arrangements now for documents like powers of attorney, your will, and your finances. Don't let anyone keep your details of your finances from you. Physical abuse is the intentional use of physical force resulting in injury and impairment, harm, or risk of harm. Things such as slapping, hitting, pushing, grabbing, kicking, choking, all of those are physical abuse. being unnecessarily rough when assisting with personal care, such as dressing, brushing hair, etc. Forcible physical restraint against your will can also be inflicted through medications, such as giving too much or withholding medications, and refusing to give or rationing essentials, which could include the interruption of sleep or meals, transportation, and other necessities. Psychological and emotional abuse, humiliating, threatening, or frightening you, not allowing you to socialize, including access to telephone, friends, neighbors, and social gatherings. Continually pretending to not understand what you're saying, making you feel stupid, or refusing to listen to your thoughts and opinions. Questioning your memory of events or denying that an event happened the way you remember, saying you are mentally unstable or incompetent. And threatening and holding things over your head, such as give me gas money or I won't take you grocery shopping, or do what I say or I'll put you in a home. Sexual abuse in Canada includes any unwanted sexual activity, such as unwanted sexual grabbing, touching, kissing, fondling, and rape. Some older adults could be more vulnerable to sexual abuse and could be unsure who to talk to. They might not know how to defend themselves from a predator. They might feel embarrassed. They may be isolated and feeling lonely. They may have been previously abused and feel that's normal. There also could be health and cognitive challenges that they could be facing and feel threatened because they only remember some of the things that have happened and they won't be believed about the abuse. So abandonment and neglect could be the result of a caregiver not fulfilling their role, which would be intentional, or not having the knowledge and ability to do so. So that's unintentional. That could be like a family member or a neighbor, and they don't know what they should be doing. It could be the result of self-neglect by the senior as well. The senior may be dealing with grief and dementia or in denial about the assistance they need. They might feel ashamed about needing help or worried about losing their independence. Some of these things could be like withholding care or not allowing the senior to access necessary services such as home care or nursing or medical attention. Could be leaving someone alone who is dependent in an unsafe or isolated place without planning for his or her care. It could also be a failure to assist with the activities of daily living, such as bathing, dressing, and other personal hygiene. It is not very dignified to have to need help for some of these things, and it makes it worse when these kind of activities happen. And it could also be the denial of the senior's basic rights, withholding food, clothing, shelter, and or health services. Now, financial abuse is the most common form of elder abuse in Ontario. Pardon me, I shouldn't say common, it's the most reported form of elder abuse in Ontario, and it is still not reported enough. It can happen at any time in our lives, but quite often it can start as we get older after an illness or death of a spouse or partner. Could involve things like taking money from your bank account and not allowing you to have any say in your financial decisions, forging your signature, cashing your checks, and not giving you all of your money, not allowing you your money for groceries, clothing, and other things you need, even questioning why you're going out and buying some of these things, misusing, making, or changing your will or power of attorney, forcing you to sign legal or financial documents that you don't understand. And then on top of that, there's all the frauds and scams, overcharging, and high pressure sales for services or products. Identity theft is one of the ones that falls under the financial abuse. It's the unauthorized use of your personal information by someone else. It involves them collecting and using information such as your name, date of birth, address, social insurance number, along with other personal details for criminal purposes. Some of the things that you can do to protect yourself is keep your access codes, user IDs, passwords, and PINs secret. Store your social insurance number, birth certificate, passports, and important documents in a safe place. Try not to carry them with you all the time. Never give out personal information over the phone. Be careful, even if you initiated the phone call. And immediately report lost or stolen credit cards or debit cards. Under your banking and finances, there are some tips. There's quite a few tips that you can take to keep your bank and finances safe. So, if you're able, do your financial transactions yourself. Take advantage of telephone and online banking, especially if it's difficult for you to get out. Always review your bank and credit card statements each month. Report any suspicious transactions and or lost or stolen credit cards, missing statements, and checks to your bank immediately. Ensure you understand every document you sign. Do not sign blank documents. It can be a good idea to ask someone you trust to look over contracts and other papers with you before you sign them if it makes you feel more comfortable. Do not give anyone your bank card or your PIN. That's your personal identification number. Keep a record of money you give away and note whether it's a loan or a gift. Then you know where it has gone. For major decisions involving your home or other property, get your own legal advice before signing documents. So the door-to-door sales was banned on March 1st, 2018. So the door-to-door sales of certain household appliances. And it protects consumers from aggressive and misleading sales at home. So businesses will only be able to enter into a contract in your home if you contacted the business ahead of time and made an appointment for them to come by your home for the purposes of entering into a contract. Contracts that are in violation of these rules relating to door-to-door contract solicitation will be considered void, and you will be able to keep the goods and services with no obligations. These rules apply to things such as air conditioners, air cleaners, purifiers, all of these ones listed here, water heaters, water treatment devices, or any bundles of these goods and services. The best way to avoid these sales is to not answer your door or hang up when you get a call initiating these sales pitches. And deception and distraction theft is on the rise. So these crimes occur when a thief steals something from you after tricking you into paying attention to someone or something else. There are many different ways this could happen. These are a couple of examples. You're approached in a parking lot and told there's something wrong with one of your tires. While you're looking at the tires, another individual steals your wallet or purse from the shopping cart or your vehicle. Or you could be in the store and someone approaches you asking for help, reading a label, or strikes up a conversation about a certain recipe or your outfit. While you're talking, their partner takes your purse or wallet and your other already paid for items. So when you're out and about, you should always make sure you shield your PIN when you're making a purchase or taking money out of an ATM. Keep your personal and paid for items in sight. And if someone is bumping into you or crowding you, it could be an attempt to get to your purse or your wallet. Now into technology. All of the technology in our lives, there's so much different kinds of technology, brings more opportunities for criminals to get our information. Below are some of the ways that to stay safe when you're online on your computer, your tablet, or your cell phone. So don't open any suspicious links or attachments you're unsure of. If it looks like it's from a company you know and you're suspicious about it or a friend, reach out to them to confirm they sent it. Unless you requested it, any emails asking you to reset your password or update any information on your account are phishing, which I will get into in a couple of more slides down the road. You check emails for grammar and spelling mistakes. These are key indicators of fraudulent emails. Don't reply to spam email, even to unsubscribe. It will let them know it's a legitimate email. Delete it or mark it as spam as soon as possible. And log out of your sensitive applications and web pages, such as your online banking, when you're not using it. The website security. And these are some of the things that shocked me when I was looking into all of this. I didn't know about this. So when you visit a website, secure websites will have a closed padlock, like the picture here, to the left of the address. The web address in the bar will start with the HTTPS, not just the HTTP. It will show you that the browsers, Google or Firefox or whichever it is that you use, has done their research to make sure that they have a security certificate. They do their best to make sure that they are secure. And if they cannot verify that it's secure, they will mark the padlock with an exclamation mark or put a red line through it, such as in the picture here. You may not want to go any further on those websites. Well, social media, all of us are using social media nowadays. You shouldn't post a lot of your personal information on social media, such as Facebook and Twitter, Instagram. You can set your privacy settings to be very strong so only your friends can see it. Sites like Facebook provide you with some level of control over your personal information. For instance, you can restrict who can see your full profile and photos and who can find you in a search. You can also hide your list of friends from people who find you through a search. So check out the privacy settings that they have on there and figure out which setting works best for you. Now, all those getting to know you better or just for fun quizzes you see on Facebook, they do seem innocent enough. These scams are anything but innocent. They are designed to extract personal information many people use to create passwords or answer security questions for their online accounts. Cyber criminals use these quizzes to hack into a user's Facebook account. From there, they can do a lot of damage beyond simply taking over your Facebook account. They can use your information to get into your accounts online and over the phone, as well as steal your identity. Now we're getting into the frauds and scams. So seniors are often targeted by con artists for a number of reasons. Generally, you're more trusting than younger people, and also may have been scammed before. They also know that many seniors don't report their losing their money because they're embarrassed at having been deceived. The criminals will try again to gain your trust and lead you to believe they only have your best interest at heart. So they can get information about potential victims from many sources. Some marketing companies collect information about consumers to sell to legitimate companies, and unfortunately can also be found very easily by these con artists. They also collect information by many different ways using the internet and information gathering schemes such as government statistics and obituaries. They can access your information in some seemingly innocent ways using telephone, text, email, Facebook, and other social media. So now I'm going to get into explaining some of the terms that people use when they're talking about the different ways of scamming people. And one of those is phishing. Phishing is the use of official looking emails that direct a person to a fake website that looks identical or close to that of a legitimate business, such as Netflix or Amazon, or a business you might know, even your bank or a government website. There's usually a link in there that will take you to their fake website to update your info. They may claim that you need to update your account or that you have a tax refund that you need to claim. Don't click on these links. They are attempting to trick you into providing your personal information and your financial information. Whether you enter your information or not, once you click on that link, some of those links will download a virus or malware onto your device, which can also lead to identity theft by them going into your computer and finding out more things about you. Now, spear phishing and spoofing are other types of phishing scams. They involve scammers pretending to be from legitimate sources to convince individuals to send the money. These scams use your existing relationships between the person receiving the email and the person sending it. I know we've all gotten that king overseas who wants to be able to bring his money because he's being imprisoned, and we've all gotten those emails, I think. The sender's address appears to be an actual email address of the source they're pretending to be, though. So it could even be somebody that you know, a tactic known as spoofing. Spoofing is used by fraudsters to mislead victims and convince them that they're communicating with legitimate people, companies, or organizations. So some of these tools that they can use, that they use as well, are, I've already spoken about the email spoofing, but caller ID spoofing. They have the ability to change the phone number that appears on the call display, either call or text message, to display what it looks like it's legitimate phone number. I've called myself a couple of times, which really shocked me. I was curious at one point and I answered the call, and it was a recording saying that it was customs saying that I owed them money for a package that was stopped at the border. That's when I hung that one up. So they also do the website spoofing. As I said before, they can create fraudulent websites that look legitimate. So just be careful where you're going on the internet. You can protect yourself from spoofing by never assume that phone numbers appearing on your call display are accurate. If it is someone asking for money or personal information, don't respond. Hang up. Look up the phone number and call the person or organization that called you to confirm it was them. Now we're going to get into some of the scams. There are many frauds and scams that are going on. And if you want to report any or find out any descriptions, the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center is a great place to go. This is where I got all of these ones that I have in the booklet. I am going to talk about a couple of them now, but you can check out their website here at the antifraudcenter.ca, or you can give them a call if you want to find out if you're being scammed or report a scam. So some of these are charity and donation scams, emergency scams, the romance scam, technical support for a virus scam, landlord spoof, air duct cleaning. I know we've gotten all those calls. Canada Revenue Agency scams. So with this, I can only go over a couple of them in here. So I'm going to choose a couple of them here right now that happen a lot. Well, all of them seem to happen a lot to especially seniors, but I'm going to go over the grandparent scam. So a senior gets a phone call, typically on their home phone or their landline, from a caller claiming to be their grandchild or calling on behalf of their grandchild. They say they need money as soon as possible, whether it's to pay bail, lawyers' fees, hospital fees, ambulance fees. They say the payment is needed immediately. These can target anyone, not just seniors or grandparents, but they claim to be law enforcement officials, lawyers, and impersonate the grandchild and family members. They use the urgency and threats to convince you to give up some of your money. I have actually spoken to people who have been through these types of scams, and it actually is very terrifying because, especially like if your grandchild's going to call you up and say, I'm in trouble, I need help now, and they've got a young person on there, if they know that you have a granddaughter or a grandson, they can imitate that, and you in your head when you're hearing them, you think they sound very close to being your granddaughter or grandchild, a grandson. But you also have to know that they can also claim that there's a gag order preventing you from speaking about the situation. The fraudsters, they'll arrange to pick up the funds in person, or they'll ask you to send cash in the mail or even to drop it off somewhere, but not the police station where you would normally think something like that would be, or at the hospital. So if you receive a phone call, you can protect yourself from these things. If you receive a phone call claiming to be from a family member in an emergency and you are concerned that it's a fraudulent call, you can hang up the phone and contact them directly using a phone number you already have, not one provided by the suspected fraudster. If the caller claims to be a law enforcement official, hang up, call your local police using a phone number from a reputable source, not one provided by them. Suspicious of telephone calls that require you to immediately act and request money for a family member in distress. Listen to that inner voice that is screaming at you, this doesn't sound right. It's important to know that the Canadian criminal justice system does not allow for someone to be bailed out of jail with cash or cryptocurrency. Be careful what you post online, because scammers can get details you share on social media platforms and dating sites and target you or get names and details about your loved ones. The other scam I wanted to talk about is the Canada Revenue Agency scam. All of these other scams, they're all in the booklet. I'll let you know at the end how you can get a copy of that. The Canada Revenue Agency, the scammer will claim to be an employee of either the Canada Revenue Agency or Service Canada. They state that you have a compromised social insurance number, or they have a case against you, or you owe back taxes, or you have unpaid balances, or that you've committed a financial crime. They threaten that if you don't speak to them immediately, you'll be arrested, fined, or even deported. The scammers might request payment via money service businesses such as like Western Union. Know that they will never do that. They will never contact you saying that you owe them money and you need to pay it right away like that. Also know that if the ones that they send out saying, or they'll phone and say that you have a refund owing to you and you need to contact them, Revenue Canada will never do that as well. Now, steps to help protect yourself from frauds and scams. So you can verify any organization or person that is asking you for money or donations by calling them back at that number, at a number you have looked up yourself. Don't give out your personal information over the phone or internet, such as address and all of the other things listed here. If you didn't initiate the call, you don't know who you're talking to. Beware of messages claiming to be from the Government of Canada, the CRA, or law enforcement agency. They will not contact you to offer funds via email or e-transfer. And banks will never send you unsolicited emails asking for confidential information like passwords, PIN numbers, credit card information, or access codes. If you see an email like that, don't open it or respond. Delete it right away. So in the booklet, we also have some other pieces of information, such as staying safe at home, in your apartment, while you're on vacation. I just put a few of those things in here. The rest of them are in the booklet that is ready to go right now. So things like don't leave your spare keys hidden under anything near the door or in the mailbox, and don't place notes on the door indicating no one's home. Keep blinds and curtains closed at night so nobody can see what you have outside your home while you're sleeping, and keep exterior doors and windows locked, even if you are at home. Don't have computers and expensive electronics by a window where they are visible from the outside. You can create a home inventory of your personal belongings. You can include photos and videos of your possessions to keep in a safe place. In an apartment building, ensure when you're buzzing someone into the building that it is the person you are expecting. Don't keep any valuable property in your locker room. When entering the underground parking, be alert to persons or vehicles following you inside. After entering the underground, try to wait for the overhead door to close to deter unwanted people from entering. I was a little bit shocked when I was also doing the research for this booklet. I was looking for information about home invasion, and it brought up some information about a home takeover, which really was even more disturbing than a home invasion. A home invasion is something definitely the police can do about. A home takeover, they can in different circumstances. So perpetrators of home takeovers are individuals that tend to prey on vulnerable members of the community, and they may approach a person they know is struggling financially or someone who lives alone and is lonely. They may offer to stay and help with expenses or provide company, but they take over your home. It may seem innocent at first. The invited guest may need a place to stay, and the victim may feel bad asking them to leave. This could be a situation where they're not helping you pay the expenses. They're eating all of your food. It could be many, many things like that. But it can also turn into a very fearful situation. You could be intimidated or threatened with harm to yourself or others you care about. The guest may use your home as a place to sell drugs, do illegal activities, or steal from you. So just when you're deciding if you want to help someone out and have someone stay with you, make sure that you look into them and know them very well before you invite them to come and stay with you. So in the booklet, we do have information about powers of attorney, wills, as well as advanced care directives and end-of-life wishes, wills, and funeral arrangements. Now, if you know someone who is being abused and you want to be able to help them, you talk to them and listen unconditionally. Let them know that you are a safe ear. Let them know when the abuser's not around what their options are, and give them some resources that they can contact when they are able to. Help them to make a safety plan in case they have to leave quickly. So now we have a safety plan checklist. So, in the event that you're in a situation, you may need to leave quickly. You may consider putting together an emergency kit. So, some of the items to include in this kit are a list of emergency phone numbers, emergency money for the possibility of needing a taxi or a hotel, a list of your medications, your name and phone number of your pharmacy, and at least 3 days worth of medication. A safe place to go in case of an emergency, both inside your home and out. An escape route from your home. Any laptops, computers, keys for your home, car, safety deposit box, some extra clothing, glasses, hearing aids, and assistive devices such as cane, walker, wheelchair, and copies of relevant documents such as ID. So your social insurance number, your birth certificate, credit card, debit card, especially your health card, any of these other, your notice of assessment from your taxes, your marriage certificate. All of these are good ideas that you could put into an emergency kit, or even copies of these things. So now here's a picture of the booklet. If you would like to have a copy of the booklet, it will be posted up on the Age-Friendy website soon. The Age-Friendy website is the agefriendlythunderbay.ca. Or if you would like a paper copy, you can let us know at the email address up here at agefriendlythunderbay@outlook.com, and we will work on getting a copy out to you. So thank you very much for listening to me.